I'm absolutely terrible with directions. I end up getting lost almost everywhere I go. While this is annoying at times, I'm grateful for it. If I always knew exactly where to go, then I wouldn't have been on so many adventures. I've learned important life lessons while being lost. I'm happy that I have a chance to have these experiences to make me a better person. I've made my fair share of wrong turns, but usually ends up alright. In all honesty, I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time and make things up as I go. But maybe I don't need to know where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to be doing to end up where I want to be. There are so many different ways of going through life, who's to say that not knowing which way to go isn't one of them? I find meaning in my life through my experiences. Struggling to find my way around may seem like a bad experience, but if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person I am today. In the moments that have shaped me the most, I've been lost and confused. I found that even when I have no idea where I'm going, I always end up somewhere. I love being surprised by places I get lost in. Ever since I was a kid, I felt more prone to accidents than most people. As I've grown up, I've come to realize that accidents aren't all bad. There's always some meaning that can be found in a bad situation. You can't go and undo something, but there's always a way to fix it. Once I was driving home on a different route than I usually take. Of course, I was lost even with my GPS and ended up crashing into a sapling in someone's front yard. I had no idea where I was at this time. The sapling was okay, but my car was undrivable. Luckily, my uncle happened to live a few miles away from where I was, and he picked me up. I had to stay at my uncle's house for a couple hours. We sat down at his kitchen table and talked about what was going on with family members and the exchange student he has a few years ago. It was the most I'd ever talked to him. I usually only see him once a year. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to get to know him a little better, even if it's because of a mistake I made. People like to say that actions have consequences when scolding someone they think messed up. What they seem to ignore, though, is that actions have both positive and negative effects. We can't forecast all the results of an action, so it's okay not to know what to do. All we can do is appreciate the positive and try to remedy the negative. I like to find the good things in what seems like bad situations. Doing this keeps me from stressing out and beating myself up over things I did wrong. I believe that most things aren't completely negative or positive. Life is too complex to see everything in black and white. One mistake I made recently was submitting an article I'd written about dating someone who was transgender to my local newspaper. I assumed the article wouldn't be published. This was not the case. It was published and the more conservative members of my family had read it. While I see submitting the article as something that caused me ill effects, I don't regret doing it. For a while after that, my relationship with my family was tense. Eventually things calmed down and they began to respect and understand what I was saying. Some good things came out of the quarrel with my family. They became more accepting of both my girlfriend and me. Even though the article sparked an argument with my family, it ultimately strengthened our relationship. I derive meaning through my experiences. Many of those experiences just happen to include being lost or messing up. Every time I make a mistake, I learn something new. I learn how to be a better person and avoid making the same mistake again. There are so many different ways to experience life, and there is no one correct way to do so. I tend to stumble through my life, and that's okay. I believe that being lost can be a meaningful experience that shapes who we are and helps us gain a new perspective. Being lost doesn't mean that you're living your life wrong. It just means that you're gaining a new perspective.